What's up, citizens of Gotham? Boom. Let's fire it up. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. It's Sunday, May 10th, 2020. Breaking news, Emberg, big smears. What's up, man? What's up? Hey, Zeus, Anthony, what's up from Detroit? It's a rainy one, right on. Looks good, looking sound, and everybody can hear and see me okay? Hello, citizens of Gotham. Jeffrey Paolo. Why on earth is a bill numbered 6666? I don't know. There's a lot of Satan worshipers in power. Backyard politics. Hello, Truth to Treat. What's up, Cat B? Hello, Rue Randolph. CBC voter. Keep doing very important shows. Thank you. Greetings from Malibu, brother. What's up in the big boo? I'm dying to go surf Third Point the minute they open it. Am I right? Audio's great. Outstanding T-gun. Speaking of guns, how about these two vegan guns on a Sunday? Boom. Eat it. Hair getting more and more out of control, folks. Oh. Yeah, WikiLeaks, kids. Look at that little just freak. It's just out of control. There's no two ways about it. Great smoothie, ladies and gentlemen. Great smoothie. Went on a bike ride today. Pick that hair for justice. Cat, that's funny. I'm good, the truth. How you doing? You're the $6 million man. I love that show, $6 Million Man. I loved it as a kid. I was so into that. Oh, that perfect hair, Colonel Steve Austin. Bigger, faster, stronger. Bionic Man. Oh, God. Love that show. I want to eat vegan. What do you... Oh, brain freeze. Stop it. Bionic brain freeze. Hold on, I gotta get that other light on. But I'm gonna keep talking to you guys. The second light, oh good, is battery operated. Oh, Bionic Woman. I love that show too. Warm water kills the brain freeze. Warm water. Nick Schwartzen does a hilarious brain freeze, but I love Nick. Nick's a good friend of mine. He's a very funny dude. Jeffrey Applestein is watching. What up, Matt S? Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. I need to put this out on Twitter that I'm live. That I'm live on Twitter. Grab it with live. Blah, 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 blah. I am live now. Wait. YouTube.com/crap. Oh, what? What's up, everybody? Oh, I'm putting together a little segment right now as we speak. Look at this. You kids ready for a new, hot, fresh segment full of vigilante politicalness? What's up, political vigilantes? Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Bionic Man is the greatest show ever. I hope the people that watched the Progressive Comedy Tour live show last night had fun. We had done it 7 weeks in a row. I had done one the week prior, so I had done stand-up on Saturday night during the pandemic. 8 weeks in a row, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking this next Saturday off, and we're going to see what happens. We're sort of waiting to see. May 15th is when the stay-at-home order was put in effect for in Los Angeles. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to extend it. They're talking about this phase 2. They slightly started to open some stuff up this weekend. I literally was just riding my bike through downtown Santa Monica, the 3rd Street Promenade, which is a big like outdoor shopping center. And I saw like one little clothing store open with like curbside service, people buying. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So that was like, all right, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I personally want to go. I'm going to try to do it this week. Find a place that does the antibody tests. I want to take that and just see. I know, like, are they accurate? It seems like they're trying to make them more accurate. I don't know, but I really, as I've said before in the show, I'm very curious to know, because I did all this traveling in February. I was shaking a lot of hands. I did a bunch of shows in California, in Arizona, all on the West Coast. You know, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Jose, all places that have businesses, companies that do business with China, that have direct flights to and from China. So I don't know. I want to see what is happening on that regard, ladies and gentlemen. Oops. What's your favorite TV show from your childhood? You will be revealing your age when you say that. I say Bionic Man. That means it lets you know I was a kid in the 70s. Boom, 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 boom. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. 134 watching, 60 likes. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. All in the family. Oh, that was a good show. Have I heard of the Mothers of Darkness Castle? I have not. Steve Austin, Oscar Goldberg. Please promote the write-in campaign for Jesse Ventura. Oh, I'm down with that. But does he want to be president? Sure, I'm down with that, though. I wish he would just say he's running. Just cut the nonsense. Hit the like button. Star Trek. Ooh, Benson. I like that Benson. The Littlest Hobo. I didn't know that show. The opening sequence for the $6 Million Man was amazing. That was an amazing sequence. It was amazing. It was totally amazing. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. I loved Star Trek. When I was a kid, I liked Hogan's Heroes because I just thought it was funny. And then I got older and was like, that show is so fucked up. Robert Klein used to do a bit in his act about who came up with that show. Those bumbling, goofy, wacky Nazis. Like, who came up with that? Like, Colonel Klink and the gang and those other genocidal fascists are all just up to some no good on another wacky episode. And it's just like, oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, that show. So I will be going live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Exclusively for Rockfin Premium members. And I got that new thing in the mail today, but it's going to take some time. Hopefully I can get it set up tomorrow, the transcoder I've been talking about, so I can start live streaming with my nicer camera. So hopefully I'll be premiering that tomorrow night on Rockfin. 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 Oh. The person asked the question about going vegan. We're going to discuss that. And I have actually a story. I'm putting together a segment right now. Holding the meat industry accountable. So I want you to please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button. Share this out on your social media. That always helps. Go to patreon.com/GrabHelwood. Rockfin.com/GrabHelwood. I'll get to some super chats in a sec. I'm not going vegan, but I'm ready to go. Yeah. I've stopped eating meat in protest. Good for you. Soylent Green is good. Soylent Green is people. Dick Hurts 2020. A nicer cam is where the TV sounds are, right? I don't know what that means. Dan Savage. BJ McKay and the Bear are about a trucker and a champ. BJ McKay and his best friend Bear. Oh, the 70s had some weird TV shows. Green Acres. Boom, boom. Green Acres is the place for me. Farm living. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Ave. No. You are my wife. Goodbye, City Life. Green Acres. They all had theme songs. I think I love about the TV shows that I knew the song, all of them, right? Brady, they all had a theme song. The cop shows all had cool theme songs, you know, like Mannix. Mannix, that big man, those 70 Mannix hair, Mannix. Oh, Starsky and Hutch, another great show. Yeah, that was the thing I loved about the 70s cop shows. They all had badass cars. They all had just cool sports cars and big hair and guns and bell bottoms, and they ran around and fought crime. Oh, fantastic. Chips. Theme song for Striker. Yeah. If you listen, go Striker's on, you know, you can watch it on it's at the YouTube channel. Oh, Fat Man Cannon. Bum 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 bum. Cannon, starring what was his name? Robert Conrad. Not yeah, he had one of those names. Tonight's episode, Blood on the Streets. They all had a theme song. Act 1. Streets of San Francisco was awesome. Oh, I love those shows. Lalo Schifrin did a lot of those things. Oh, yeah, Lalo Schifrin did great music. He did a lot of the he did Enter the Dragon, I believe. He also did Dirty Harry. Oh, Lalo Schifrin did great music. Oh, I love Lalo Schifrin. Good business. Oh, we're talking 70s cop shows today. Cannon. Malachi Rome. They'd announce all the guest stars in the episodes. Each episode had a theme song or a title. Tonight's episode, Act 1. Oh, I loved those shows. I loved those shows. SWAT. I said some sweet ass guitar riff. And they always said freeze and the cameras zoom in. Oh man. Oh, I loved it. And I, as a kid, too, because it was all like you would like, oh, this show's on this time at this time. Like Hawaii Five-0 was my favorite show, and it was on Thursdays from 8 to 9 on CBS. And my bedtime as a child was 8:30, but Thursdays, my parents had let me stay up a half hour past my bedtime to watch Hawaii Five-0. It was so rad. Steve McGarrett never smiled, always mad. Steve McGarrett was always mad at somebody. That big hair blowing in the Hawaiian wind. Steve McGarrett always drove those big Lincolns around with the suicide doors. Oh, God. If you watch my Detective Stryker short film, it's all, I took all these elements from all those shows and the Dirty Harry movies. Yeah. Then there was also the Mod Squad. With the Mod Squad was so interesting because the Mod Squad, they were all young hippie cops and they didn't carry guns. They're just gonna solve crime with good vibes and whatever. And there's an episode where and they had a I was just running in the beginning of it. And it was sort of like, this is how we get teenage hippies to be okay with police or something. Like, I don't know what the thinking behind that show was. Oh, yeah. Just like, oh, you go watch some. And the thing is, too, is they would always have these amazing guest stars. Like there was an episode, I think, of the Mod Squad where Sammy Davis Jr. played a priest that was like helping out, you know, revolutionaries or whatever. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. It was just, it was like, and like William Shatner would be a guest star on a lot of them, and that was just great, you know. And then in the late 70s, 80s, you had T.J. Hooker, was in the 80s, but it was William Shatner basically doing a 70s cop show in the 80s. Oh, God, I remember this one episode with these of T.J. Hooker where he'd always like jump on the hood of the car and like wrestle the car down. Made no sense. And he was there was these two rival Latino gangs in this episode, and they were fighting in the barrio. But you know, all the Latinos on this show, the Latino actors were like the barrio, and then Shatner was like, "I want peace in the barrio." He kept calling it the barrio. So fucking awesome. That big hairpiece of his, TJ Hooker. Oh, shit. God damn it. I want peace in the barrier. Oh, God. Yeah. I want peace in the barrier. We got to get peace in the barrier. Thanks. Thanks, TJ. Thanks, Shatner. Peace in the barrier. Ooh, more barrier peace. Oh, God. Shatner is just unreal. I just can't get enough of that guy. That's why I sing songs as him. I'm going to read some super chats in a second, folks. Please hit the like button. Share the feed out to your social media. Oh, God. Please, please, please listen to William Shatner's album, Transform Man. It's amazing. You'll see why I sing Shatner. You'll really see where he sings all these crazy songs. Chips was a fun. 237 watching, 132 likes. Hit the like button. Hill Street Blues was good. That was in the 80s. But William Shatner in Transform Man, he sings Mr. Tambourine Man, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Fucking fantastic. It is fantastic. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, will you play a song for me? This is so fucking great. Oh, Barney Miller. Oh, I need to eat and take a shower. Okay, cool. Good. Showering's good. All right, let's read some super chats, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday, 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. I desperately need a haircut in the middle of this goddamn pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen. Most cop shows are propaganda. Yeah, of course. Rocket Man. I'm a rocket man. Matt S. Shave your knuckles for justice, Matt S. The Flover Show works really well. Casual chat, super chat, and segment. Others online should adopt your model. Rock on, Graham. Thank you. Well, yeah. Because it's like, especially since it takes a little while to get several hundred people before people get notifications or see it on social media. So it's like, let's just talk and see what's going down. See how everybody's doing. Do some super chats. Great way to support the show is do what Matt S. has done. You'll see that dollar icon at the bottom there. If you hit that, you're supporting my show. I get 100% of the transactional revenue, as it's called by the YouTube people. So you're helping support what I do, and I will answer your question. Or read a thing or whatever. All right. Got to swap out the smoothie. Man, good. Good smoothie on a Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Everything revolution. Shave your knuckles for justice. Please share about the importance of being expressive and creativity in all forms. Also, when you perform, how much of it is spontaneous? Oh, great question. When I do stand-up, or even these like Zoom comedy shows that I've done these last 7 or 8 Saturdays with Ron, one of them, the first one 8 weeks ago was just me. I like to do and when I do stand-up comedy, like in a comedy club, I like to have a set and an act, but I always like to keep a little bit of it riffing and spontaneous to whatever's going on in the club. So maybe Ron said something, or someone in the club, or something just happened that day. Because I like the spontaneous nature of it, because it makes it really awesome. Because that's the magic of a live performance. Watching a stand-up comic's comedy special or listening to their audio album or whatever, that's great. And that's really celebrates the craft of joke writing and the craft of stand-up comedy. And crafting a well-written joke takes a lot of time and effort, and it's great. And I love watching a good comic. I'm like, oh, that's a great joke. And that's good. And those aspects are like, it's like writing and composing a really good song. So, and it just seems conversational, even though there's a lot of work that goes into it. And a good comedian makes it seem like it's just, they're just talking, just like off the top of my head, when most of the time it's not. It's very, it's constructed, but the riffing and the live, that's the beauty of a live show. It's like when you go see your favorite band live, there's two things that are happening. One, you're having a shared experience with the audience, and that's really cool with stand-up comedy, because when you laugh, the whole room's laughing, and that shared energy and that shared experience is really cool. It's why the Zoom shows that Ron and I have done have been really helpful, just to hear other people laugh, and I think it's helpful for the audience as well, but it's really helpful for us, and it's the thing I miss so much about this quarantine, is not getting that. I mean, I never thought there would be a time where I wouldn't be performing. I wouldn't be allowed to perform anywhere. It's crazy. Even when I've been busy working on TV shows or whatever, I still would go do stand-up here and there, or working on a film or something, just to get on stage, just to get it. And so, so a lot of that is spontaneous, and that's the magic of stand-up comedy. It is the beauty of a live show. And when something spontaneous happens, it'll never happen again. Even if you've got that exact same audience sitting in the same seats, wearing the same clothes, getting the same drinks, it would still be different, And that's what is so amazing about a live comedy show. It's just magic. It is the spontaneity is great, and it's going to it's part in the answer to the second part of your question, how much of it is spontaneous, and I'd say 30 to 50% is sometimes. I go in with a scripted thing for sure. Sometimes I edit. I'll be like, we're talking on something, and then something happens, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this other joke that I wasn't planning on doing because it relates to what was just said or whatever. But it's all of that is the importance of, as you say, expressive and creativity in all forms. For me, it's really important to express myself creatively as an artist, because it's not just the fun and the ego boost of getting the laughs, but also having something to say and commenting on the world in a way that other people can't. I mean, that's to me what I don't know, like Picasso. So look at one of his famous pieces, Guernica, which is about a bombing, and it's really like, oh my God. And his, what was it, Cubism or whatever he did, depicting his interpretation, his artistic interpretation of the horrors of war is like really powerful, and I think now it's more important than ever to express ourselves creatively in whatever way that is. If you are a professional artist, or even just as a hobby, I think everyone should express themselves creatively in one form or another. Art, writing, drawing, something, just because it's cool. And when you start looking at the importance of expressing creativity, you see how that expression can come out not just in sort of traditional, art forms, but like cooking, or technology, or an interest in expressing yourself creatively for innovative ideas or whatever. Like science can be highly creative, or the creativity of, I don't know, making your own garden and growing your own food. Like that's an expression of creativity. We talk a lot about that on this show, and the importance of growing your own food, and getting out of the construct of capitalism and all that. So yeah, great question. Suffragium, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for all that you do, Graham. I learned speaking English on Sesame Street. Family came from Cuba in '69. Love America. Oh, right on. Thank you. Sesame Street was really a big part of my growing up. Sunny day, everything's okay. Come and there's everything had a song. When the air is nice and clear, through Slattery, Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, all that stuff. I've always wanted to go to Cuba. I like Cuban music. That documentary that came out, Cubanissimo or whatever. Oh, Buena Vista Social Club. Oh, love that. I love that. I love that music. And I want to go to Cuba, especially since it's. I mean, they've sort of opened up the restrictions a little bit. Obama did, which is all the more reason I want to go there. Oh, I want to go to Cuba, have some Cuban food, do some salsa dancing, watch baseball. That's what I want to do. Thank you for supporting the show. Emberg 33, shave your knuckles for justice. I hope you can get the debate interview set up. Yes. Emberg set this up. With you have a you have set up a Green Party candidate, Sednam Kanamo. Okay, you've talked to them about having me come on, having them come on the show. Okay, yeah, I'll DM her. I'll DM her for sure and try to get some of them folks on the show. Farkas, Garvey, Farkas, shave your knuckles for justice. Did you hear about the $2,000 a month UBI? I approve. Yeah, I hope that happens. I mean, it's the thing we've been talking on the show. I mean, since this whole pandemic shit started, you know, one of the reasons I firmly believe that there's these, like, we want to go back to work protests is because people are starving and can't pay their bills. You know, it's like if you gave everybody free healthcare, when this whole shit went down, free healthcare, we're going to pay your rent for 3 months, or freeze rent. You just don't have to pay rent for 3 months. Not 3 months back pay, but like you will have 9 rent payments for the year of 2020 or mortgage payments, like whatever. Taking those off the table. You know, the government is going to pay the landlords. You know, if the government said, look, we're going to pay your mortgage, we're going to pay your, because as I've talked about on this show, I know there's plenty, not the big corporations, but there's plenty of just like small business owners, mom and pop, husband and wife teams that just like, oh, we own a couple of units or we own a house or two and we're just renting it out. And now, you know, like it affects everybody. And if you just said, hey, we're going to pay your rent, we're going to, your health care is free and you're going to get $2,000 a month UBI, I think everyone would be more happy to stay home. I'll stay home. I'll wear a mask when I go out. I won't protest. You're taking care of me. You're telling me I can't work for the safety of everybody. I'll stay home. But people are scared, and some people got their, I mean, I finally got my $1,200. I still know some people that have not. I was not qualified for the first round of unemployment. I'm supposedly qualified for the second round, but I haven't gotten any money. So if I didn't have this show and no means to make a living, and other than go, let's say I was just a road comic, I didn't have a YouTube show, and they told me I couldn't travel, I don't know what I would not be paying my rent. There's no way I could pay my rent. And then what? We come out of this and I'm going to have 2, 3, 4 months of back rent on my back? Holy shit. Fuck that. I'd be out protesting too. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. And so I approve of this $2,000 UBI. I'm all for it. I'm so sick of the goddamn federal government giving banks and corporations all this fucking money, and then we're out here just fending for ourselves. I don't agree with let's open everything back up immediately and get the economy going, but that's the problem with capitalism is we're seeing people are forced into this situation where they got to like, oh, I want to go back out and potentially get a thing that could kill me. That's fucking stupid. But yes, I approve too, Fergus Garvey. Cutter Phil, what's up, Cutter Phil? Are you shaving your knuckles for justice? Graham, you need to get Shatner's hairpiece for when you sing. Just kidding. Pack my bags, pre-flight, 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna have a hairpiece. But Also, speaking of propaganda, how about person of interest spying on people to help them? Oh, God, I know. Boy, the more I go into this and do these videos and seeing how they're controlling the media and Operation Mockingbird and all that, oh my God, the more you see like how we were like, we were talking about cop shows at the top of the stream, and someone's like, they're propaganda. Yeah, absolutely. Because here's what I grew up learning: cops are good for the most part. There are some episodes that dealt with corrupt cops or bad cops or whatever. But I learned, and I'm a white kid in the suburbs, and I was told if there's a problem, you go talk to cops. They'll take care of you. I was never hassled by the police as a white guy. Cop shows told me the cops were good, so I guess they're good. You know, the TV shows and the movies told me that America was good and the Soviet Union was bad. We're the good guys. I was told that. Um, you see how influential that was as I started to wake up and see that. And the first time I ever really like looked at that and even ever considered it, I had moved to Los Angeles in the mid 90s, and I was in my early 20s, and I was in an acting class. And the thing that was really cool about Hollywood and show business is it drew people from all different walks of life. So I had in this acting class, and while my high school was diverse and stuff like that, it still was not as, even though Chicago's diverse as Chicago can be sort of segregated, and my high school was pretty diverse, but it was still just, it didn't have like all these different walks of life. And you weren't like, in an acting class, you're really getting into personal emotions and you're rehearsing with each other outside of class. And so you're really getting to know people. And Los Angeles attracts people literally from all over the world. And I remember there was a guy from Russia in my class. There was a girl from Finland. There was a girl from Sweden. There was a um, and people who just grew up in America but had all these different ethnicities. And there was um, a woman in my class, and she was part. Her mom was Japanese, and her dad was like a white guy. And she said to me, she goes, "No one on TV looked like me growing up." And it was the first time I went, "Oh God, there weren't many Asians on TV, period, let alone someone of mixed ethnicity, like half Asian, half white. No way." She was like, "Yeah, Mrs. Livingston on Courtship of Eddie's Father, and then any war movie against the Japanese." I was just saw, oh, there's people depicted. And she said something to me like, I've always been like, yeah, FDR was great. She's like, she put some of my relatives in, FDR put some of my relatives in camp. So I can't say I'm a huge fan of his. And I was like, I'd never thought of that. Because we were barely taught about Japanese internment camps. And I never looked at the television and thought, there's other people watching it of other ethnicities going, nobody looks like me on TV. And I was like, oh my God. And look what everyone on TV looked like me. I mean, I was just talking about all those cop shows. It was all white guys. Robert Conrad, Jack Lord. These were all white guys with dark hair. Michael Conrad, all these actors were like white guys, a lot of them with dark hair. Shatner. I mean, all these guys were white guys, and the white guy was the hero. The white guy got the girl. I mean, Star Trek told me, oh man, you saved the day. You get to have sex with a beautiful alien woman. That's what I was taught. And so, it's, you see how I was like told just from my own worldview was like this. And then as I meet new people and hear different worldviews, that's why like, oh God, I'm so glad I went to Russia, because I saw their worldview was totally different in terms of like World War II. We think America, we won World War II. We did it. We won it. And we sacrificed a lot. Now, America did sacrifice a fair amount, but they lost 20 some million people or more. 20 million people. We lost 418,000 people. 4,000 of them were in Pearl Harbor, which is awful. We lost 400,000 GI. They lost 6 million service members and another 10 to 15 or more civilians. They don't even know. They'll never know. I mean, that blew me away, because we're not taught that in this country. I didn't know that. And it was in St. Petersburg, which is a beautiful city, and the people were nice. But they told me about it back when it was called Stalingrad or Leningrad, maybe back then. I can't remember. The Leningrad blockade. Yeah, it was called Leningrad. The Nazis did a blockade and blocked their port. St. Petersburg, not, then it was called Leningrad, is a port city, so they blocked the no supplies. 1 million people died from like starvation. Just horrific. It would be like if like, oh, I remember when they did that to Chicago, and my grandmother told me when they bombed Chicago, or oh yeah, remember when they did that to Philadelphia or Boston, and 1 million people died in Boston because they blocked the port. Or I mean, just like what? Like we have no concept of what it is. We have no idea. And so, and we've been fed all this propaganda. I mean, I was told as a kid the Shah of Iran was a good guy. He was our buddy, and the Ayatollah was evil, and they were all religious fanatics that just hated America's freedoms. And I didn't know the history of how the Shah got put into power by the CIA because Mossadegh wanted to nationalize the oil. Like nobody said, they don't talk about that. The CIA is always depicted as great, So, yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you for supporting the show. MK, boom, shave your knuckles for justice. Graham, what are your thoughts of Dr. Bing Liu in Pittsburgh? Are you buying the official narrative? MK, I don't know much about that. I'm gonna look for this right now. I'm gonna go to ecosia.org. This is the search engine you should all be using. I'm gonna put it in the live chat right now. Hit the like button. This is the search engine everyone should be using. It's a non-for-profit search engine, so they're not Google, which is used by the CIA to track your movements and everything. Ecosia, ECOSIA.org. Yeah. World War II was won with British courage, American money, and Russian blood. That's a good way to put it. This is a good point, getting back to the, how about we at least free up the women and children who are being beaten to death in their homes? They have no escape from the quarantine. Yeah, that's another issue. Domestic violence is going way up, and it's like, they're like not even, they got to open, they're closing domestic violence shelters, and people can't be safe. And like, it's just, oh, God. Yeah, I'm totally down with opening that up to get people out of there. Just, the Patreon option is sold out. Yeah, Ecosia. Kuwait stole oil from Iraq because first Gulf War caught Madam saying pay up Kuwait, said F you. Yeah. So let's go to Ecosia. Hold on, I wanted to get that Dr. Bing Liu. I just want to look up what that is specifically. I don't know much about it. Oh shit, yeah, I did hear about this. Well, let's make this a segment. Let's just talk about this. Wow. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. So I'm just learning about this. Maybe some of you have heard about it. Who is Dr. Bing Liu? Chinese coronavirus researcher, 37, was killed in a murder-suicide by how to? This just came out May 7th. I just got this article, so I just want to read it and we'll discuss what this is. Lou, 37, was found dead from multiple gunshot wounds in his Pittsburgh home on Saturday after a suspected murder-suicide. The Chinese scientist was a research assistant professor at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine with an expertise in computational modeling and analysis of biological systems dynamics. Lou is believed to have been on the verge of a breakthrough in his research into COVID-19. Okay. First thought, just my first thought. I have no evidence to support this. This is just the first thought that popped into my head. He was coming up with a vaccine, getting in the way of the Bill Gates one that we can't have a real vaccine because Bill Gates is going to have one that potentially can put a chip in our head. First thing that popped in my mind. I have no evidence to support that as of now. Just a crazy thought I put out there. The school said he was an outstanding and prolific researcher who stood out during the coronavirus crisis. He was just starting to obtain interesting results. The head of the Computational and System Biology Department told the Post-Gazette. He was sharing with us, trying to understand the mechanism of infection, so we will hopefully continue what he was doing. The university said in a statement, Bing was on the verge of making very significant findings toward understanding the cellular mechanisms that underlie SARS-CoV-2 infection and the cellular basis of the following complications. Before I want to jump down a conspiracy rabbit hole, I'll just say, don't know if he was suffering mental illness or was depressed or was fighting, or the person that he murder suicide, I don't know. Were they fighting? Was it, people can do that for any number of really severe emotional things. Was he abused as a kid and something got triggered? All of those things are reasonable. It is a little weird that a guy on the verge of a discovery of a big potential cure or vaccine or antiviral medication for this global pandemic, it's weird that he would, on the verge of something, suddenly be dead. It's just like, really, Seth Rich just had a bungled robbery. And anyone who asked questions like, well, how come we're not investigating more? How come we're not just a bungled robbery? He still had his watch. He still had his wallet. How come that's not? And anyone who just asked that question is suddenly a Russiagate, Seth Rich conspiracy theorist. I don't want to just immediately jump down a conspiracy thing on this with this person, but it's he was patient, intelligent, and extremely mature, the university wrote. He was an excellent mentor, the school said, and generously shared his time and knowledge with younger scientists. Originally from China, Dr. Liu received his Bachelor of Science and PhD in Computer Science at the National University of Singapore. He did his postdoc studies at Carnegie Mellon in the U.S. He had recently been promoted to research assistant professor position at the University of Pittsburgh. Dr. Bing Liu died after being shot multiple times by software energy Hao Gu as a result of a suspected love triangle. He was believed to have entered Dr. Liu's house through an unlocked door before opening fire, hitting him in the head, neck, and body. Sergeant Kopit said, our investigation of the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Bing Liu and Hao indicates that the actions that took place on Saturday, May 2nd was the result of a lengthy dispute regarding an intimate partner. Okay. Lovers triangles have caused a lot of deaths throughout history, so that could be, I don't want to just immediately, that could have happened. People's emotions get serious and somebody feels thwarted, and who knows, this person with the gun, what emotional state they were going through. Did they have emotional problems? Who knows? Why did they have access to a gun? It could just be as they say. It could just be as they say. We have found zero evidence that this tragic event has anything to do with employment at the University of Pittsburgh, any work being conducted at Pittsburgh, and the current health crisis affecting it around the world. Due to the fact that the individuals involved are not U.S. citizens, and in accordance with the long-standing protocol, a review has been forwarded to the federal authorities. Investigative leads developed throughout the weekend have led us to believe that the male from the car shot and killed the man in the townhome before returning to his own car and taking his own life. Hao Gu, 46, was an award-winning software engineer who worked for Eaton at their electric facility in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. He had been working for the company as a software architect for 16 years. He studied computer science at Tongji University in Shanghai, China, before going on to complete his master's degree in software engineering at East Tennessee State. Detective Sergeant Heldt told the Post-Gazette that Gu was from China but had become a naturalized U.S. citizen. Cops believe Gu died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was discovered in a nearby car in Ross Township, according to People. Police did not address where he got the gun, but said there was no legal issue surrounding the possession of the weapon. Okay. After it emerged it was researching coronavirus, one user on Chinese social media platform wrote, "Oh my God, this seems like it's coming straight out of Mission Impossible." Yeah, one of the conspiracy theories is perhaps he found out that the coronavirus was originated in an American lab. Another wrote the incident seemed too coincidental, while the third said there were likely secrets hidden in the dark. A number of regime-backed media outlets, as well as government officials in China. Well, that language is... Now they're going to try to say, what, the Chinese government killed him? When the virus first broke out last year, have sought to deflect criticism of China's handling of the pandemic and allegations of an attempted cover-up. Reports from the earliest stages of the crisis allege that doctors and journalists were being harassed and detained for lying to raise the alarm. Yeah, other people have said, yeah, Chinese social media recent weeks have alleged without evidence the virus broke out in Canada or in US, and that the American government is trying to cover up the fact. Police have found zero evidence that researchers' death has anything to do with the coronavirus. Well, I gotta tell you, that is interesting. That is really interesting to me, because he was the author of a book in more than 30 publications. He was patent mature and had a degree in computer science. Well, we'll see what else comes out of this, because it could, first of all, there's several potential options here. It could just be what it seems like it is from this one news report. Some kind of relationship ended, somebody lost their shit, killed somebody, and then killed themselves. That's happened before. But I will say this, and not, I don't trust the Chinese or American governments at all. If this did leak out of China, and China then would obviously try to cover it up. But also, as I've discussed on this show, America is trying to make China the bad guy. We're trying to ramp up an arms race with them, with Russia. We're trying to ramp them up because, as I've discussed, here are some facts. China has stopped using the petrodollar. They're using the petro yuan, right? Their own currency. They're a monetary sovereign, just like the United States is, meaning they create their own currency. They have a pipeline, several pipelines with Russia. They just opened up a new pipeline. That's where China buys most of its oil, is from Russia. Russia and China, India, Pakistan, a couple other Central Asian countries have stopped using the stopped using the US dollar to trade with other commerce. Meaning Kazakhstan is going to sell a bunch of shoes to India, and in the past, countries all over the world would do this. They would trade in US dollars, which helps strengthen the US dollar globally, which keeps America as an empire. So now they're going to stop doing that. They're going to use their own currencies. That happened in March. The United States empire does not like that. So that's why I'm real leery of all of this
talk, and it preys upon people's xenophobia and racism. It's a Chinese virus. We got to blame China. And Chinese people are getting yelled at them and shit like that in America. That makes me go, America, that my first thought when I hear that is this is a U.S. bioweapon that we use to make China look bad. We dropped it there to make China look bad. And then we're, oh, look at China. They caused this pandemic, and get the whole world to be mad at China. So I don't trust the United States military. I don't trust Chinese government either. They're not honest, but I don't trust the United States Army. I mean, look, we had Whitney Webb on the show. She talked about the pandemic simulation just of last year, 2019, that predicted Corona. And then we didn't react. The whole point of a simulation is to like, oh, how do we, like police and fire departments, like they do this all the time in LA and California because we have brush fires and earthquakes. They do these simulations all the time. Back when I was more involved in the American Red Cross, they would have the Red Cross involved in these simulations. What do we do if there's a mass event, and so they work on all of these things, right? And the point of having a simulation is to go, well, here's where, and then you do a study and you go, well, this is the areas where we need to react better. We need to put this, and this in place. They did none of those things after the simulation, as though they wanted it to kind of bungle. And so it's by design that the United States government hasn't, quote, reacted well. I think they're reacting exactly the way they want it to react. They want it bungled because they know about it. And sure, Chinese government probably knew about COVID-19 and didn't say anything internationally for a while, but we bumbled things too like that. So with all of those questions and all of that evidence, you do got to ask the question, this is weird that a guy, because what if he were to have discovered, oh, actually, this virus did not come from a wet market in China or some lab in Wuhan. Actually, this was discovered in America. Like, remember anthrax after 9/11? Oh, anthrax, the terrorists are sending anthrax to Americans. Now we found out that anthrax was created in America and was sent around in America. So probably the United, and we've talked about Fort Detrick, the lab at Fort Detrick, where stuff just goes missing. Whoops. Like somebody lost a book from a library, only it's a bioweapon at a highly secured facility. That's weird. It's a weird, a police detective would have to go, wait a minute. And when it gets kicked up to the federal level, if they come back and say, oh, probably these were a Chinese spy got this guy, and they try to put this on the Chinese government sending spies to kill this guy, and it just keeps fueling this China virus, then I'll be even more suspicious. So we're going to ask questions on this show that the mainstream media doesn't do. You ever seen anybody on MSNBC or CNN or Fox News or ABC wear a WikiLeaks shirt? You ever seen that before? Rachel Maddow, she wear a WikiLeaks shirt? Sean Hannity, all the gang over at Fox wearing WikiLeaks shirts? No? Anderson Cooper, he wears a WikiLeaks shirt, right? No, they don't. Zero retractions. Zero mistakes. No other publication in the history of the human race has that record. That's why you get your news here, not the corporate media. Shave your knuckles for justice, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm glad we talked about it. 231 likes. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Tucker defends WikiLeaks. No, I'll give Tucker Carlson credit. There's much with him I don't agree with, but he does defend WikiLeaks. He's on the right side of like Syria. He talks about Julian Assange. I'll give him credit for that. How he's allowed to say that over there is amazing. Our job is to ask all the questions, let the establishment answer them. You got that right. My money's on joint U.S. Mossad op.
Media always posts lies knowing they might have to retract, but they know how effective first impressions are. Yeah, you got that right. Graham, this world is messed up. You got that right. I do remember Police Story with Angie Dickinson, and then they turned it into Police Woman. Hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. 424 watching. You're watching Vegan Guns live streaming on a Sunday. I think Tucker 2 will be a thing. What's up, my brother? The end of days prophet. That smoothie looked good. It was great, Elizabeth. It was a fantastic smoothie. So good. We've been streaming for just over an hour, citizens of Gotham. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yeah. We're all dancing on the deck of the Titanic. Nothing left to lose. Kick ass and take names. You got that right. Why doesn't the mainstream media ever talk about the 7 other women who accused Joe Biden? Exactly. Exactly. We can just narrow this down to one woman, Tara Reid, so then we can just say, oh, there's just, and we can poke holes in it. This is defense attorney stuff when you have a guilty person who's killed 7 people, whatever. Don't count those. So we're just talking about one person, and then we poke holes in this one person. See, one woman, her story doesn't add up. Let's move on. That's what they're trying to get you to do, rather than go, Joe Biden has a history of sexual assault, and then all those, the way he creepy touches kids, people are like, that's how a pedophile acts. Like, he can't control himself. He's fucking disgusting. I'm not aware of Bill Maher's stance on Tara Reid, quite honestly. Sparky, shave your knuckles for justice, Sparky. I heard that Jimmy said that when he and Jesse win, he's going to show you just what kind of friend he is by appointing Mnuchin Treasury Secretary. Just to stick it to me. Ha ha, Graham, we got a Green New Deal, but Mnuchin's that. That's hilarious. CR, what's up, CR? Are you shaving your knuckles for justice? I hope that you are. What up for Moss Beach? What's up, Moss Beach? Moss Beach in the house. Sparky, shave your knuckles for justice. No more officer friendly. Nowadays, police are rolled out, jackbooted government thugs who treat the public at large as enemy combatants. You know what I want to ask every cop out there? Just anytime you interact with a cop, just politely ask them, hey, how many billionaires have you ever arrested? I want to know how many cops have arrested billionaires. How many cops put the cuffs on a billionaire for all the crimes they've committed? Because if they became a billionaire, more than likely they've done something illegal. I'd like to know. Ask a cop how many billionaires they've ever arrested. I'm going to put that on Twitter right now. Let's put that on Twitter. All members of law enforcement. How many billionaires have you arrested in your career? All members of law enforcement. How many billionaires have you arrested in your career? Awesome. I love doing stuff like that. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Chelsea Sites, what's up, Chelsea? How you doing? Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Hey, did you check out Emma's Revolution? Real important messages in there, songs that were inspired, and good friends with Pete C. Oh, thank you. I have not, but you brought that up last night on the comedy show. But I will look up. I'm going to look up Emma's Revolution right now. What is he talking about? Emma's Revolution. Emma's Revolution. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. Let me write that. Emma's. Wait, I gotta make sure I use the codes there. Emma's Revolution. YouTube. Peace through all people. Swimming to the other side, right on. All right. Sweet. Thanks, Chelsea, for letting me know about that. Mana Talk, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Do you know who Whitney Webb is, Graham? Oh, Mana, yes. Maybe you haven't been on the show in a while. I have done several interviews with her. If you go to my Epstein playlist, you'll see numerous interviews. I've talked to her about Bill Gates. I've talked to her about, she's fantastic. Yeah. And thank you for bringing her up. Anyone that's not aware of Whitney Webb, she wrote a lot for Mint Press News, and now she's currently writing for Last American Vagabond. She's been on this show numerous times. I love Whitney Webb. She does fantastic work. She's done a lot of great work on about Epstein. She's done a lot of solid work. She interviewed Maria Farmer, and I played some of that on this show. So thanks, Mana Talk. Yes, I know her. She's fantastic. Loyal opposition, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Mort Saul turns 93, father of stand-up, previous super chat cut off. Tons of videos on YouTube, still working. Are you a fan, Graham? Anyone else a fan? Oh, I love Mort Saul. Yeah, Mort Saul is a real serious political comic, you know, in the 60s and 70s, and he's still working. He's like out of Chicago, and yes, I know who Mort is, and that's awesome. He's 93 and still kicking it. I love who he is. Look up his work, folks. I definitely know who he is. Thank you. Russian name that I cannot pronounce, Andropov Gizbarska. Are we losing the civil liberties? The little civil liberties we have. First of all, shave your knuckles for justice. Dos vidanya. Yes, we are. We are. They are using this. I think COVID-19 is a serious thing. I think it's highly contagious. I think it, you know, has killed many people, and it's severe, and we've lowered the numbers by flattening the curve, and they don't have to be mutually exclusive, and they're taking advantage of it to take away civil liberties. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and they want to keep us, when they get everybody scared, that's when they swoop in and remember 9/11, the terrorists, and they just came in, oh, Patriot Act's going to keep you safe, Terrorists are coming, give up your civil liberties. And everyone was like, fine, sure, just stop terrorism, take my civil liberties. You know, oh, I don't know if we can trust Bush. Obama, we can hope and change with him. He's going to be great. Obama came in, smiles, charming, nice tweets, took more of our civil liberties away, turned us into a surveillance state. Absolutely. Mana Talk again, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. How many birds does one COVID-19 stone kill to gain political power, influence, and profit? I know. Oh. And you're seeing, too, both political parties just trying to capitalize on this pandemic. Corporations getting money. It's fucking ridiculous. Vera Romano. Thank you, Vera. Thanks for being you. And Vera, thank you for being you. Thank you for supporting vegan guns in a WikiLeaks shirt. Justice. That should be my logo. Me like this and then
And it says political vigilante across my guns. Somebody make that. Somebody do some art like a cartoon or political vigilante, shave your knuckles for justice. Or maybe it says political vigilante here and then shave your knuckles for justice. Something like that. Run with it. John Smith, shave your knuckles for justice. You admit different peoples have different features distinct to their group. That is what race is. No, you keep bringing this thing up. That's just the human body adapting to different surroundings. That's just features. That's not the whole race. There's no DNA to support race. As I've said, there's not European DNA or African DNA. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Because you can take different features and people's feet. Like there's people with dark skin, curly hair, and blue eyes in Fiji. Because that's what happened. That's how that was colonized and integrated and everything. So you keep bringing this up, but no, it's not. Race is a construct. Those things that you're talking about are just physical features. It's the body adapting to surroundings. It's culture and customs. That's just culture, right? The Japanese bowing and Westerners shaking hands is not race. That's just a custom. That's just a culture. Some of it was developed out of pragmatic reasons or religious or whatever. Religions popped off because hundreds of years ago, somebody saw a mountain and a cloud and said, oh, that's the mountain god. And but, you know, whatever. Man, talk, shave your knuckles for justice. No, they will not completely distribute a forced vaccine for free. 7.6 billion people on the planet times $50 a pop to create, produce, package, market, and distribute. It's 380 billion US dollars. Yeah, that's not a bad, I guess, see that. Yeah. But they'll get the governments to, I don't know, if it's a forced vaccine, they'll try to make it free, but the countries will pay for it or something. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. And yes, they want to make a profit from the forced vaccine, but I just don't trust that forced vaccine at all. If it's got a computer chip floating around, whatever, I don't trust that thing at all. Anything coming from Epstein buddy Bill Gates, don't trust it. Kit's Corner, shave your knuckles for justice, Kit's Corner. The Simpsons predicted Trump presidency, coronavirus, killer bees, and more. Matt Groening controls the world. Love you, Graham. Yes, Matt Groening is part of the deep state Illuminati. But yeah, they did. They just looked at all this insanity and thought the way a comedian does. And when everyone else is thinking here, a comedian goes, what about all that? Carl Knight, shave your knuckles for justice. That was an awesome segment. It's cool how our community contributes together. That's why I love doing the show. We all bring something up. We all talk about it. Boom. Hey, Mayor, shave your knuckles for justice. Sorry, I'm late for the vegan smoothie fun. Boom. Hey, Bears. Boom, 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 boom. Stack them up. Lock them up together. Shave knuckles for justice. That's my sound effects library. Mana talk. Big mahalos, brother. Mahalo to you, my friend. Aloha. Ray Foley, shave your knuckles for justice, Ray. Join the movement for a people's party, folks. Loyal opposition, love Mort Saul, original truth teller that paid the price. Yeah, sure it hurt his career. I'm sure it did. Mad S, boom. While I don't agree with your conspiracies, I think we can agree it's based a lot on a lack of trust in U.S. government and American press. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm just throwing out potential possibilities. I'm not saying those things are definitively the case. I'm just saying, as I read that case about that Dr. Lou dying, those are the questions that come up. I'm not saying this is definite, this is that. I'm just knowing what we know. I got to ask these questions. I don't know for sure. Look, it could just be two people in love and had a bad breakup, and one guy lost his shit and got a gun. That's happened. That's happened. But I don't trust the Chinese government, and I sure as shit don't trust the American government at all. At all. I bet there's a sterilization drug in the COVID-19 vaccine for certain countries. Yeah, Gates has talked about that. People's Party or Green Party, where are we going? Well, it'll see on who has a candidate that's like, the question will be which of those parties like gets a big name person. That's what it's going to take. I mean, like I've talked about, I watched that Green Party debate, and there's 3 candidates on that, live stream that had anywhere from 50 to 90 people watching. Like, I get more people watching this show than the Green Party presidential debate. And they had good ideas, and I respect the people that are running, and I respect that the organization that put that debate together, but they need a big name person. Look what just the rumor that Jesse Ventura might be running as a Green, what that did for the Green Party. Just the rumor that maybe. So, and then Nina Turner saying, she's on Twitter saying, I'm down with the Movement for a People's Party. Look what that's done. So we need a lot of, I've said this before, if Nina Turner joins Movement for a People's Party and runs as president and brings like a lot of those Bernie surrogates with her, I'm down. Like Dr. Victoria Dooley and those folks, I'm in. I mean, I'm down with that. If Jesse Ventura runs as a Green, I'm down with that. I just want to see who they come up with. We gotta, but they got to be realistic. They got to come up with like, this is the once in a lifetime chance for a third party to really resonate with people, because we're in the middle of a global pandemic. If they keep just doing business, well, we're just running a Green Party candidate, this sort of token gesture, oh, we're different, defiance, but just, it's not enough. They got to go. They have to seize this opportunity. We have a chance that we will never get again unless we seize it right now. They have to think that way. And if they just want to have their little, and if they're going to just keep collecting signatures at like, organic festivals with largely white audiences in the suburbs or whatever, or in really blue districts, that's not doing it. The Green Party needs to go to working class people. And Movement for a People's Party, in my opinion, has done a better job of that I've seen, at least in the last 2 years. So that's what it's going to take. People who's like real vision, real foresight, and thinking outside the box on how to get the message across. When I say play to win, I don't mean the way the corrupt 2 parties do it, anything at all costs, just win regardless of the issues or who gets helped. But I mean win the right way. Go out there and win. And by winning, I mean defeat the 2 corrupt parties with policies and candidates that actually people give a shit about, and no corporate money, and no military industrial complex, and no big pharma, none of them, no big tele, none of those people, none of those awful billionaire corporations, none of them, and really run a populist candidate and a populist campaign that scares the shit out of them and can win. Not let's try to get an incremental change and pull the Democrats to the left. Fuck the Democrats being pulled to the left. Fuck them. It'll never happen. So that's what they got to do. And if they're not willing to do that, then, I appreciate the effort, but like, I'm not going to get mad at them because they're not the root of the problem. They're just reacting we're in a situation where you can't keep reacting the old way. Get signatures and get get Democrats to vote green. No, get independents. Get the people that don't vote. The 4 in 10 people that don't vote. 40% of the population doesn't vote. What if you flipped some of them? That's 40 million people. Actually, no, that's 100 million people that don't vote. And if you got 40 or 50 of them, 40 or 50% of that block that doesn't vote, that's a game changer. It's a game changer. There's a lot of vote any blue will do's who are like, oh, I guess I got to vote for Joe Biden. They're not excited about Joe Biden. They just hate Trump so much. And if you gave them a real option, like Nina Turner and Jesse Ventura running together as a movement for a People's Party, they would come on board with that. They would go, holy shit. They just need to see the whole group. Most people are followers. They need to see, is everyone else doing this? Okay, then I'll do it. They need to see that. That's the reality. Pat the Batman fan, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Pat, legal question. If a couple from the Ozarks move to California and get a divorce, are they still considered brother and sister? Thank you, Pat, for spending $4.99 to make a joke. I appreciate that, dude. Oh. Hey, Mayor, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. There's been no TP or Kleenex available for almost 8 weeks, so I retaliate by buying all the sake. Oh. I have a couple extra boxes of Kleenex, hey, Mayor. If you want me to send them to you, I will. Joker Max! Game over. Joker Max. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. 299 likes, 400 people watching. Like it up, like it up, like it up, like it up. Cryptocurrency has been assigned to the countries. Interesting. Show some love and buy some merch. Support the pillar of Little Vigilante, Vegan Guns for Justice. Thank you so much. Yes, you can go to grahamelwood.com. I ship using envelopes that are made from recycled material. I use the post office, which is union labor. You're supporting a small business. All populace under one umbrella. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Hey, Graham, if you asked Robert Kennedy Jr. for an interview, I bet he would say yes, but you will be demonetized. Oh, cool. All right. I'll look into that. I think Trump wants to go back into TV. Yeah, he doesn't want to be president. It's too much work for this guy. He just wants to sit there and go, you're fired, and do some blow and get in a tanning salon. I don't give a shit about this. Graham, what are your flaws? Well, two big guns. It's just too much. It's just too much vegan fury back here in politics. What are my flaws? I can obsess on things too long that I need to let go of. I don't know. I can get too scattered. Sometimes I'll get into like trying to people please too much and like subjugating my own needs or wants for somebody else's. Like I can do that. Interesting question. A bit of a temper. Yeah, maybe. But when you grow up in sort of crazy, chaotic situations and there's trauma, you get anger as a way to protect yourself. Vegan Guns, Nina Turner.
Yes, I'm a highly sensitive dude. Hard for me to turn off the feels. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. That's yeah. How can we never hear what Melania Trump has done as First Lady? Absolutely. Don't answer a trick question. You have a bit of a temper yourself, trying to channel it for good. Yeah, that's the thing. You focus it, righteous indignation. I try to just keep it for this, for the injustice of the ruling class that I feel justified in being angry about. Technical shit, when it goes bad, god damn it, when I feel like powerless, that drives me nuts. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. Oh god. The sonic booms from knuckle justice might be a downside. That's a good point. Chris Hedges indicates electoral politics are a waste of time. Movements like Yellow Vest, Occupy, not electoral politics. What say you? Yeah, I totally agree with that. When I talk about like movement for a People's Party and the Green Party and stuff like that, I that would be awesome. Not because I think electoral politics is going to say. Even Bernie, I was like, I didn't think even if Bernie won, it would have been like we got so much more work to do. The Bernie winning, or let's say a Nina Turner or Ventura running third party, and they like get a lot of steam and even win. That's exciting because it shows it would engage those 100 million people that have given up because they feel like the system doesn't care about them, which it doesn't. I agree with Hedges that we need all these yellow vest movements. The fact that there's currently over 175 strikes related to COVID-19 right now because of workers' rights and all this stuff. That's what it's really going to take. Shutting stuff down, yellow vest movements, peaceful nonviolent resistance. I talk about that all the time. The significance of a big third party candidate winning would change the mentality of the American voter or just citizen who's apathetic or realize that their vote doesn't count or nobody gives a shit about me and I've given up. That apathy was created by the ruling class. So a big win and getting people united together, like Bernie was good at uniting people, getting us all together in the revolution. He'd say, you are the revolution, not me, us. That message is important because what a movement for a People's Party or a Green Party or third party thing would do is actually help motivate more people to do what Hedges is talking about. You got to understand human nature. People need someone to look up to. They need a cause. Together, we're all in this together. It's hard to like go out and protest all alone or with 7 people. There's 10,000 people there. You feel like you're not crazy. You're not alone. That's what this channel's about. That's why the Progressive Comedy Tour and the live Jimmy Dore shows, what those were all about, were like getting us all together in a room, and we're all like, oh shit, we're not alone. Jimmy or Steph or Ron or myself or whatever, Nellie Mackay, one of the panelists would make some joke or some point, and the whole audience goes, yeah, fuck yeah. And you're like, that's what this live chat is. We're not alone. You're all political vigilantes. So a big political third-party movement, why it's important is to really significantly show we're done with the two-party system and eviscerate their power and their money. Now, if movement or Green got big and a candidate, corporate money would try to weasel its way in, and maybe they'd be successful, maybe not. I don't know. But it's important in terms of how it could structurally change some things. That's my thought on that. I agree with Hedges. Hedges is brilliant, so I agree with that. Matt S. Get any surfing or biking in recently? Yes, Friday.
I went surfing. I went up to Ventura County because some of the beaches are open up there. You can surf and walk along the beach. You can't put a towel down. If you do, it's got to be spread out. So I did that Friday, and I did yoga in the park yesterday. And then today I went on a bike ride. So I'm trying to get outside every day just so I don't go nuts. And they're treating patients with vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin D. And there's been several studies about how vitamin D is helping. So getting some sun outside, I think, is a good thing. Brogressive, what's up, Brogressive? You shaving your Brogressive knuckles for justice? What is your superhero name if you worked for Big Kale in the Salad Consortium afternoon smoothie? Oh, I think it would be afternoon smoothie. I don't know though. Probably vegan guns. Here comes the VG. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Hey everybody, hit the like button. Gotta grab all the .cap to support the program. Is opening up America this month going to cause more COVID-19 deaths? I don't know. I'm worried that they're going to open up too soon and the numbers are going to spike. I don't know. Apathy is far worse than anger. Yeah, anger, when used, anger is like fire. So when fire is controlled, it heats things, it cooks, it makes metal, glass, it keeps you warm when it's cold out. When fire is out of control, it burns and kills and destroys. That's what anger is. If it's controlled and focused and motivates you to get some shit done, like I'm not going to be pushed around anymore. I'm tired of this. I lost my home. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to do this show. I'm going to talk. I'm going to cover the fucking Epstein shit. I don't get it. It infuriates me. The Epstein thing is so horrific. But I'm so mad that it's allowed to happen. So I'm going to talk about it. That's a positive focus for anger. You know, if I'm going through yelling and screaming at everybody, you know, whatever, somebody in traffic or whatever, that's a waste. Or getting in fights and yelling, that's not good. You know, I used to do a lot more of that when I was younger, and I really just tried to, like, it's literally like the pick your battles thing. When it's focused, it motivates, it can inspire, it can, like, you know, and I've had to use it as a defense. It's a defense mechanism. Like, don't fuck with me. And when a dog barks at you, it's like it's telling you back the fuck up. So sometimes you need to do that. I need to do that. Like, hey, back the fuck up. You know? And I don't think that's a bad thing. There's a lot of shitheads in this world, and you got to fucking bark at them sometimes. I'm reasonable. I've never had an argument with a reasonable person. Like a crazy, yelly argument. It's never been with it's only when someone's being completely unreasonable. So, I was across the street listening to Mike McCrae's tour de force of Godfather impressions and couldn't get a YouTuber here. Traffic is murder on the set. Mike McCrae, I was listening to Jimmy Dore last week when he was doing Mo Green from The Godfather. Oh, fuck, that made me laugh so hard. Jimmy, I'm running a business here. I'm firing cocktail waitresses 2 at a time. God, Mike McCrae makes me laugh so hard, man. Oh. God, Mike McCrae makes me laugh so hard. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a segment. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. Hitting the like button is a great way to support the show. Making sure you're subscribed. Hit the subscribe and the bell notification button. That helps. Watching the ads all the way through, when you click skip ad, I do not get paid. That's a great free way to support the show. Sharing the videos on your social media is a great free way to support the show. And then patreon.com/GrandElwood. You get bonus content. The Zoom comedy shows, I record the whole show. You hear Ron, the audience laughing, me, and everything, about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. And I put those on Patreon at the $5 level, and I'll be dropping last night's show either today or tomorrow. And you can go back and watch all the other ones. They're really cool. And then Rockfin.com/GrandElwood, you get premium content on all the people on Rockfin for $10. And it's a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. Cryptocurrency platform. I'm not going crazy at all. My hair is long, I'm going nuts, living alone. I'm not going crazy. You're going crazy. You're going crazy. Oh, fuck. 2 months. Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Oh. What's going on during COVID? Capitalism is being exposed, specifically the meat industry. We're modern slaves, how meat plant workers became the new front line in a COVID-19 war. Workers interviewed by The Guardian describe pattern of alleged negligence at plants run by some of America's largest food manufacturers. What COVID-19 has done specifically to the meat industry is shown how unsafe their conditions were before this pandemic, how they're not paid good wages, how the big, Tyson Foods and these big companies, big agricultural companies, they don't treat their workers well. It's awful. Another reason I'm a vegetarian, kids. Get the vegan guns going. This is horrific. Because here's what's happened during this pandemic. News of the first COVID-19 death at the Tyson Food poultry plant in Camilla, Southwest Georgia, spread slowly. Yeah, a woman died there. Williams had worked alongside Willis in the deboning section of the plant. She died on April 1st, age 56. She had spent 35 years at the facility, 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, 100,000 slaughtered chickens a shift. Another reason I'm a vegetarian. The link to this whole article is in the show notes. Read the whole article through, but I just want to show you. This is just one woman who died. She was afraid to get fired. They weren't taking care of her. They weren't giving hazard pay. They were paying less than $15 an hour. Awful. Like, we've heard about this. So many workers are like, I was afraid to lose my job, so I went in there, and it's unsafe, and then COVID was spreading around. 56 years old. I'm 50. She's only 6 years older than me. In interviews with poultry workers in Georgia, Arkansas, and Mississippi, a similar pattern of alleged negligence, secrecy, and mismanagement emerged at facilities operated by some of the biggest food manufacturers in America. They are playing with our food supply. This is dangerous. But this is brutal capitalism. There's a pandemic going around that's taking people's lives. Shut up and go to work. That's what they're saying. But at least the federal government came in and took, oh no, they didn't. They just passed nickel and dime stimulus plan. Both parties. The Democrats make these, AOC gives these big speeches, and Bernie, these big speeches about the evil Republican. They signed off on it. The Senate signed it 96-0. No one voted against it, including Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren, and a bunch of other Republican shitheads. So make no mistake, both parties and even the fake progressives within the bullshit Democratic Party, they're all at the behest of these corporations. We should have free healthcare. Free healthcare. But this is the problem in a for-profit healthcare system, especially then when you get your healthcare through your job, you don't want to make waves at your job, even if they're putting your life at risk because you don't want to lose your health insurance. How insane is this system? I hear right-wingers like, oh, evil, this country's going to be turned into a socialist nightmare. Oh, as opposed to the capitalist nightmare we're in? Boy, it would be so horrific if this woman had free health care from Medicare for All and was given $2,000 a month in UBI to stay home. It'd be so horrific if this socialist nightmare actually took care of her and she didn't have to die. The poultry industry, already the target of sweeping civil lawsuit. Pre-pandemic, already doing awful shit. Gee, Graham, why don't you eat meat? I can't figure it out. I don't know. I'm a crazy hippie. This right here. Describing a systematic effort to depress wages among a workforce that is largely immigrants or people of color. Once again, big evil corporations taking advantage of poor people, immigrants, people of color, working class people. You're a working class person, barely getting by, of any ethnicity, the big corporations are they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about you. And whether you're Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi or whatever Republican or Democrat represents you in the Congress and Senate, they don't give a shit about you. They'll give a speech around election time if they do. But when they get their money, I bet you a lot of these people, how many politicians get money from Tyson Foods? The president invoked the Defense Production Act, DPA, to mandate meat processing plants stay open during the pandemic. So first we had the sweeping lawsuit before the pandemic, which put them in a tough spot because they won't pay their employees real wages. You know Tyson Foods is making plenty of money. So they're making plenty of money, but typical in the capitalist society, they don't give a shit about the worker. Some of them were making $13.55 an hour to debone chickens, which sounds pretty horrifying. I used to eat meat all the time, and I worked on this sketch comedy show on MTV called Star 69. Maria Bamford's in it. It's on my YouTube channel. And we did this dating sketch where I was the guy that worked in a meat packing plant, and they put all this meat on me and gave me all this stuff. And I came home that day and was like, this is disgusting. And I was eating meat at that point. I was like, this is disgusting. And I stopped. And I started doing research on how meat's made. It's disgusting. Mad cow disease. It's disgusting. But then look at how they treat their employees. So they already had the civil lawsuits in place. Were already happening. Then the pandemic comes. It ends up, thanks to Trump, helping out these corporations that don't give a shit about their workers. I thought Trump was supposed to make America great again by helping out the American worker. The American workers that Trump has helped out are those hardworking billionaires and CEOs. Boy, he's really helped those folks. The backbone of our economy, the backbone of the people that just extract our wealth. Your labor, their wealth. You bust your back, you bust your ass, you die for them. They made profits. Any CEOs die from COVID-19 because they had to work in an environment? Any CEOs have to go to work where there's COVID-19? Any billionaires? Are they essential workers? No, they stay back in their mansions and fly around in the private jets and tell you should stay home. Except the ones that are helping make them profit. You need to go to work. You work somewhere that I don't profit from, whatever the fuck. But you that works for my company, you better get your ass to work. And I don't give a shit if it kills you. I'll replace you because I need more $1 billion. The president, a rapist with ties to Epstein, is running against Joe Biden, another rapist with dementia with ties to Epstein. Great choices, the two parties. Boy, the lesser of two rapists. That's your choice in November. Both with ties to Epstein. Weird. The president invoked the Defense Production Act to mandate meat processing plants stay open during the pandemic. What those did, and other further measures to protect the industry from legal liability should more workers contract the virus. That was part of making them essential, is the big companies like Tyson got language in there saying we can't be sued because we're essential. Did you see how that worked? We're an essential worker. So now you're essential. You can't strike. You can't put lawsuits on us. Oh, convenient. Gee, we didn't know that. They never say that at the press briefings. In the corporate media, that Tyson Foods buys ad time on. You ever watch any of them? Fox, CNN, big, oh, Tyson Foods, bringing good solid chicken to your table. They don't show a 56-year-old woman dying because they didn't give a shit if she got COVID or not. That's what happened. They didn't give a damn that this woman died. They issued some statement. Oh, they're just worried. I guarantee the first thing that happened, the Tyson executives went, oh boy, this is going to be bad for us legally. They didn't go, Jesus Christ, a woman died? If I had somebody work for me die because I didn't do enough to protect them, I don't think I could get out of bed the next. I just don't think I could do it. I don't know. I would probably commit seppuku to regain my honor because that was horrible. I couldn't. Could you live with yourself? They don't give a shit. But thanks to the good old federal government, Trump, Pelosi, the Democrats, the Republicans, all fucking us over. You Trump supporters really need to get your head out of your ass and realize how awful he is. And the Democrats are just as bad. You vote any blow will do morons, think Joe Biden is better. You're stupid. You're dumb. These two parties hate you because these two parties don't need your vote. They don't need your $10 donation. They get plenty of money from the big corporations. That's who they answer to. They don't answer to you. The Republican and Democratic Party do not care what their constituents, what their individual donors. You write a $10 check, they don't give a shit about you. You write a $10,000 or $100,000 check, they might start paying. They don't care. They don't care about you. The two parties only care about getting reelected and continuing the donation gravy train. They don't give a shit about you. You're a diehard Republican. The Republican Party doesn't give a shit about you. You're a vote any blue will do. The Democratic Party doesn't give a shit about you. They don't care at all. This is what they think of you. And rather than admit fault and go, oh my God, this is awful that this happened. We're going to give this woman's family a bunch of money. We're sorry. We're going to make it safe. This is never going to happen again at Tyson Foods. Ever. This is awful. Can you imagine if a CEO came forward and talked that way? This happened on my watch. I'm responsible. I'm ashamed. I should have done more. This woman's family is going to get a bunch of money. I'm just going to give them money so they don't even have to. I'm going to give them $20 million. They're just getting that. I'm sorry. That way they don't even have to pay a lawyer a third of that. Just here's the money. We're sorry. And I'm going to do all these efforts. And by the way, all of our employees are getting more money now. They're getting hazard pay. That's not how they think because they're pieces of shit. They're soulless assholes. What have they been doing? Rather than supporting paying money for their employees, they've been taking out paid adverts in major U.S. newspapers, including the New York Times, to warn that recent closures of a handful of plants due to the virus could lead to limited supply of our products. So rather than admit fault and doing something to correct it, they spend money on ads to keep Americans scared. If I have to watch one more, we're all in this together from some big corporation, hey, fucksticks, how about take that money that you spent on the TV commercials and give it to your goddamn employees? How about that? How about give them hazard pay and health care? How about that? God damn. Limited supply of our products. Good. Go vegetarian. Stop eating meat. Don't support these awful companies. For Tara Williams, who has worked on the Kamble plant on an overnight shift as a packing scanner for the past 5 years, earning $13.55 an hour, Trump's executive order and her company's adverts were another blow to her fight for workers' rights. See how they've used this? Pandemic. You got no work rights now. You're an essential worker. Shut up. Chris Smalls sets up a strike because he doesn't want to die for Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos has him fired. At least the VP at Amazon stepped down. That guy finally grew a fucking soul for a second. I don't know, maybe he's a weasel too, but he had at least enough stones to say this is wrong. Tyson poultry workers are now being offered a $500 bonus to continue working. Is $500 worth your life? Is your life worth $500? That's what Tyson just put a value on it. That one woman died. So now it's worth $500. That'll be paid twice. Oh, I'm sorry, $1,000. Your life is worth $1,000 according to Tyson Foods. Hope that chicken tastes great. Once in May and once in July and are contingent upon work attendance. So you want that $1,000 bonus, you better show up to work and put your life on the line. Wow. That's amazing. I tell you what, when the CEOs show up to work, let the CEO show up. And I don't know, maybe we'll have N95 masks and maybe we won't. Maybe we'll have dividers or maybe we'll all, it's unbelievable. Because here's how they were treated during this pandemic. The employee who has worked at the plant inspecting chicken carcasses for 19 years, earning $13.33 an hour, said she still felt unsafe going to work every day. We're all given bathroom breaks at the same time, and there are hundreds of us waiting to use them. There are only 7 bathrooms, they said. But Tyson, they don't care about the worker. They don't care if we get sick. So all that, they release a statement, social distancing, and we care about our workers. No, they don't. This is the reality inside. They'll say something for the cameras and issue a statement. Some asshole in a suit will go, we are Tyson. I hate those statements. I can't even read them. Our core values, shut the fuck. Your core value is squeezing as much money out of people and not giving a damn if they die. Just say that. Just say that's your core value. We don't care about our workers. I'm saying, as long as I get a country club membership and a private jet, I don't give a damn if these people die. That's what the executive. That's what you should read anytime you read some like core values, blah blah blah. That's what you should just read. That's what they all say. For more than a century, the meatpacking industry has been a symbol of how corporations are able to exploit workers in the name of efficiency. The COVID-19 outbreak has opened another chapter. They arrested 680 undocumented workers, but none of the companies, which included the multi-billion-dollar Coke Foods, faced any charges or employment practices. Oh, yeah. So these big corporations that I'm sure many of them and their CEOs have donated to the Republican Party. So we need a border wall. But a border wall, then you can't have undocumented workers work for you. So they broke the law. We got to keep jobs for Americans. Americans cost too much money. We have to pay them $13.33 an hour. These undocumented, I can pay them 9 or 10. And if they die, who cares even more? An American dies, we might have some news story to have to deal with. Nah. That's their attitude. That's their attitude. The outbreak has thinned the line between consumers and workers, laying bare again the dangerous working conditions in plants. This time, I'm not sure packers can manage the situation and hide everything under the rug about how they treat workers. So there it is, folks. Some of you might be wondering, well, what's the solution? What is the solution to this? This is from Joshua for Congress. A company decided to stop paying its drivers, so one of them parked the truck on the owner's Ferrari and left it there. There's an interesting solution. I've been saying this for 2 months. Now is the time where the American worker has more leverage than they have ever had at any point in history. The last time they had this kind of leverage was in the 20s and 30s. Now is the time. Unionize Tyson Foods. Unionize meat packers. Unionize. Walk out. Because you really want to risk your life for maybe getting $1,000? There's a Ferrari, probably $150,000, $200,000 car. This guy couldn't get paid, but the owner can drive a Ferrari. He said, fuck you. Shave your knuckles for justice. General strike, peaceful nonviolent resistance, that's what it's going to take. That truck thing, that wasn't violence, that was just a parking problem. You're making Gotham great again. What's up, everybody? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. $377 likes. Hit the like button. I should get a tattoo that big. Yes, parking brake slipped. I've renewed faith in people. When the people take their authority back, this nonsense is over. Absolutely. The picture is my new Jesus. I know, it's amazing. If a bunch of truckers get together in a line on interstate highways and slash their tires, they can shut down every city in the country. I'm telling you. Do you really want to die for $1,000? That's your hazard pay, is $1,000 in two $500 payments? Okay, man, that's what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. Yeah, and it's another thing too, just like how horrific it sounds. That's why I couldn't eat an animal. Why do we let animals get killed? It's just nuts. Oh, let's read a couple super chats. 400 likes, we did it. Naughty vegan, shave your knuckles for justice. What is it about humans that makes them so polarized, whether that be politics, corruption, vaccines, diet, or COVID-19 lockdown? I heard actually a sociologist explain this, and it kind of makes sense. You grow up with a certain set of beliefs, whatever. You grow up with this religious belief because the idea that that question every sentient being is asked, basically, or any human is asked, what happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Is there not? Whatever. So if you're around people that all believe what you believe, you grew up in an area and everyone has basically the same religious beliefs. Everyone's a Southern Baptist, everyone's Catholic, everyone's Muslim, everyone's whatever. And you come in contact with somebody that has a different worldview than you, a different belief system than you. What that can do is say, oh, some people, human nature can be, oh, that must mean they're saying I'm wrong. Their view is different than mine. So them saying I'm wrong. So then my whole worldview is blown. My belief system doesn't, oh shit. So then I'm gonna argue with that person because if you say you don't believe what I believe, then you're saying that I'm bad, that I'm dumb. That's how it's taken by a lot of human beings. And we've all fallen victim to that way of thinking because that's how we're sort of programmed to think. So I think that's why people are it's part of human nature to sort of, oh God, get defensive and be polarized. But we got to break out of that. That's what I'm trying to do on this show, is break out of that. For myself, first and foremost. I just wanted the truth. I want to get at the truth. I can't handle lies anymore. I just can't handle it. I started doing this show and I had repressed memories come forward of being abused as a kid, and I just can't. I just want the truth. I just can't handle it. I don't want to live in any sort of fake lie denial shit. I can't do it. And if it means severing related ties with people, then so be it. But I can't live in any lie anymore. I can't sit here and say, oh, the Me Too movement was so awesome and now they're full of shit, and just let that slide. Believe all women unless they accuse Joe Biden or Bill Clinton. And we're going to, all these women, some of them comics in my business, screaming and yelling about Me Too and believe all women and men are bad and all this shit. And then, oh, I don't know if we can believe Tara Reid. Fuck you. One woman who dated Chris Hardwick wrote a letter saying that he was abusive. And even in her letter, in her words, I was like, wait a minute. He didn't abuse her. They just had kind of a shitty relationship. And I had two female comic friends of mine read her letter and go, he didn't abuse her. They had a shitty relationship. But a lot of female comics Chris Hardwick was guilty instantly, just guilty, right like that, guilty. And those same comics now, I'm seeing them on social media going, well, I don't know if we can believe Tara Reid, and let's do a full investigation. Oh, weird. Chris Hardwick doesn't get a full investigation, but Joe Biden does? Fuck you. President Jafar, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. America was built on slavery and slaughtering. Nothing has changed. Yep. Imperialist fucking horrid awfulness. Lori Mountain Gal Pal. Graham, you follow Whitney Webb on Epstein. Have you seen her coverage of the COVID-19 she's doing with Ryan from Last American Vagabond? Excellent. I've talked to her a little bit about that, but I need to have her back on the show. Lori, thank you for reminding me on that. I had her on the show maybe 2-3 weeks ago talking about Bill Gates, and we started really following all of the people. When we talked about the Dark Winter stuff, and the same people at Dark Winter were at the simulation in 2019, and she connected a lot of those dots for me on the show, but thank you for reminding me that, Lori. I'll have her back on the show. Yeah, I love Whitney's work. Humanity! You're making Gotham great again, Humanity. For brain freeze, press thumb on the roof of mouth. You're welcome. Also, too, you can just press your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That helps. And kind of rub it up and back the roof of your mouth. Now it sounds like, well, just jerk off your tongue and say, whoa, that's not how we talk. No, but thank you for that. All right, folks, let's find a song and wrap it up. You won't lose your balls if you don't eat meat. Fun. Real eyes, real lies, real lies. L.A. Bean wordplay. All right. All right. Yeah, Biden's crimes were prosecuted fairly on facts. He'd never get out of jail. You got that right. Meat is murder. You people work in a slaughterhouse for a day and see how appetizing it is. Oh, I know. Americans don't want to see how the sausage is made. Literally, they don't want to. All right. Sing Funky Town? All right, I sing Funky Town. You got it. Hit the like button. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta make a move to a town that's right for me, near the Centaur Nebula. Town to keep me moving, keep me grooving with some energy. Well, I talk about it, I talk about it on my camcorder. Talk about it, talk about moving. Gotta move on. Work factor 5. Uhuru, gotta move on. Scotty, I need more power to gotta move on. To move on with new life and new civilization, to boldly go. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town? Uhura, open up a hailing frequency to Funky Town. Bones, can we get to Funky Town? Scotty, beam me down. 3 to beam down to Funky Town. The guy in the red shirt won't make it back because we're going to kill him. But I want to live and love and dance in Funky Town. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Sulu, shields down for Funky Town. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Or won't you take me to Funky Town? Khan, gotta make a move that's on a town that's right for me. Town to keep me moving, keep me grooving with some energy. Well, I talk about it, I talk about it, I talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about moving. To boldly go. We've got to move on. The Federation has to move on. I got to move on from the resentment of the Klingons. Even though they killed my son, I've got to move on. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to Funky Town? Why don't we get some Romulan ale and go to Funky Town? Let's beam down to Funky Town. I think we should always express ourselves in Funky Town. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Pack my bags pre-flight to Funky Town. 0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm going to be high as a kite by then in Funky Town. That's it, folks. Oh my God, we made it to Funky Town. We made it to Funky Town. We made it to Funky Town. Oh, walking on sunshine. What? 424 likes. Thank you all so much for let's get naked and go to Funky Town. Absolutely. I really had to work with that one. Yes, I did. Mountain Gal Pal. You all are fantastic. I'm sorry. Your entry to Funky Town has been denied. Graham, I have no idea how to get to Funky Town. Well, Google it, bitch. No, just joking. Thank you, Sam D. What's up, brother? How you doing? Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Thank you for supporting the show. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Pacific time, Rockfin exclusive stream. If you want to be a Rockfin member, go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. $10 a month gets you access to all of the premium content from all the content creators. Funky Town is there. Convo Couch, Ron, Nico House, Kim Iverson is there. Jimmy Dore is going to start posting videos on Rockfin. So check that out, folks. Shave your knuckles for justice. Never forget all of those involved with Jeffrey Epstein are guilty.